Hi, my name is Elliot, and I'm going to talk about the multiple include optimization. So back to basics. We have a very boring CPP file and a header. The preprocessor comes along and just replaces it. We all know this. If you happen to have two in your file or another transitive include, we would get two definitions. We would break the one definition rule. Whoops. So we fix this with include guards. We check if this macro has not been defined. We defined it, the rest of our body, end if, or pragma once. So much easier than this. And then this is all fine. We can include this thousands of times, no problem. But the second and the third and the fourth time that the preprocessor encounters this, we see the if not defined, and it needs to skip ahead naively to the end if. And preprocessors are fast. They can do this between 100, 300 megabytes per second. But if you happen to include like vector, that's almost a megabyte of stuff. That's like 5 milliseconds. And if this is happening every translation unit and you have multiple includes of vector through different paths, it can add up. So there is an optimization that most compilers do, which is the multiple include optimization. So if your file is properly guarded, and this is the canonical properly guarded, or pragma once, so you're allowed comments and white space above the guard, below the guard. You start off with if and def. You can actually have the define any way you want. They don't really care. You don't even have to have it, but it has to have this if and def. And every time that the compiler or the preprocessor sees the include directive for this file, if that macro is defined, it will skip this file or use pragma once. So this goes wrong all the time. So if you have your includes outside, if you have any function definitions, declarations, this will go wrong. So just make sure everything is within. If you're trying to combine them pragma once and include guards, you don't really need to. There's one case when you do, but you probably don't need it. I've seen this happen where this use pragma once was never defined because the include happened afterwards. So we never get to this pragma once. But because we have something outside of the include guard, it disables this optimization. This will compile just fine. You can include this hundreds of times. It will just be a little bit slower. Has anyone seen a lone hash symbol? Anyone know what that is? It's the null directive, and it is guaranteed by the standard to do nothing. It does nothing. GCC, Visual Studio, will allow this. Clang won't. It will disable the optimization. If anyone wants to go through and have a look at Boost preprocessor, they have thousands of these outside the guard. I haven't seen anyone else do it. So this is now fixed in Clang, the next version, which will be 17. So you can go ahead and stick null directives outside your guards until you get bored. Visual Studio won't optimize this. Don't use if not defined, if and def. So thank you very much.